Welcome to the start of my day. I hope you're well. I hope things treat you kindly. I hope everything is nice today for you. My wife's not feeling well, so I decided to do more kind of a low key breakfast than what I was gonna originally do. I just kind of want to stay close by. I do have to run out once, but that's really about it. So I got my iced matcha, homemade. I got my burrito supreme from Taco Bell from several days ago. Some pickles, some eggs, some spices, good stuff. Also, for those who don't know and haven't been following me, I got a new leg tattoo. It says Calma Infinita, which means infinite calma. I'm kind of working on becoming a little bit better about not letting things bother me. So I thought I should get a tattoo in commemoration. Also, with my beautiful wife and we have been. I'm trying to think of the right way to put it. We had our 12-year anniversary actually a couple days ago, so that was really cool. I'm mostly just trying to get everything done today. So yeah, so. Hmm. So Galeras, how was your breakfast? Did you have breakfast? Do you normally have breakfast? These are the questions. I've been. Some of you may have noticed. We're not dual casting. We're not doing this at the same time on Instagram as we are on YouTube. We're just doing YouTube. Instagram got bought a long time ago by Meta, and Meta has been scraping artist content for their algorithm, their AI algorithm. In America, you're not allowed to opt out of it. Or in the UK, you can opt out of being a part of a electronic survey. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. Caught you. So, although I have not deleted my Instagram, I am realizing it may be in its MySpace era, so to speak. There's this very weird part about being an artist, and even more so being an artist of color, black man, um, Afro Latino, West Indian, all these things. You don't always get recognition for the work you do, but you see the footprints of your culture in other art forms. What that typically means is, although you're not getting the accolades, you still see people kind of doing the things that are popular in your culture. And although they don't celebrate them for it, it's very easy oftentimes for other people to make money off of it. It's a very weird place. So, as I said a long time ago, I'm your artist. I'm your favorite favorite artist. It's a weird place to find yourself. But after so many years of making art and putting stuff up and running around and so on and so forth, I've just come to the realization that it's like, I have my fans. My fans are great. I love y'all. I have my Patreon. I love you. You're wonderful. And You know? We can't chase things that we can't catch. Not forever. At a certain point, it's just kind of demoralizing. And I don't see the point of it anymore. And then yeah, to see people who don't really make that art suddenly adopt your style and just start making art exactly like you is kind of infuriating, I guess, in a lot of ways. And like that was frustrating within itself. But then you get to the point where, hello, hello, two people. um, then you get to the point where computers are then stealing your style, type of thing. So the people who can't even copy you can now copy you. Is kind of, it's just not worth it. And I have no delusions of grandeur. I do not think that I am a Laura Zombie or a Picasso or Jim Lee or some famous artist that you've heard of probably in passing. A lot of us who make art are very popular within our genres. Within our genres, people are very happy to see us put work up. And they buy our work and they decorate with it and they have these conversations with us. And in that, they are inspired. And I think inspiration is one thing. I think the huge difference between inspiration and, I'm trying to think of the word, appropriation, or I guess in the simplest terms, I could dull this down to I go to Ireland, I experience a bunch of cool stuff Ireland does, I come back here, and then I put my name on everything and pretend like I came up with this style in this type of way. For the people who don't know anything about Ireland, they assume I'm bringing this genius thing that no one's ever seen before. I make a lot of money. And a lot of it just kind of falls behind, you know? It's that weird thing where when you appreciate something, you oftentimes learn about it, and then you're oftentimes willing to teach other people about it. Where, in a lot of ways, you don't see that when people appropriate stuff. I use Ireland as the example because when I try and use the real examples, I mean, I'm sure people have probably done it to Ireland too, but when I use the real examples, like people's eyes kind of glaze over and they just look away, like whatever. Everybody appropriates everybody, and it's such bullshit. It's just one of those things where it's like, I'm always amazed by people who don't care about something. Who still wish to put forward arguments in the opposite direction. That whole devil's advocate thing. That shit just bothers me. You've heard me rant about this before. For those who've been here. I don't know, I just want to see, I want to see art from artists that's just amazing and coming from those artists. I used to spend large amounts of time just scrolling through all of this art content, all these different artists posting and all these things, and it used to really blow me away, honestly. It did. There was so much diversity, there was so much like really kind of original ideas, stuff you've never seen before, etc. And it was really amazing, honestly. You could just spend a whole night just kind of going in that direction. Just wild, rampant art debauchery. And after a certain point, everybody kept making the same stuff. It stopped being fun. You know? I've still definitely got some real classic, amazing artists. Cat Blanchard is actually really amazing. My buddy Cat. Trying to think. Ghislaine's got some crazy art. There's so many just amazing artists that I've seen that are great. But there's definitely an aspect of like you see these great artists and then you're kind of looking to see who the next one is. And I'm yet to really see the next one. As of late. Like I said, those are only two people I mentioned. There's lots of other people. But there's an oddness to it. I remember like before Tumblr changed, I would go to Tumblr and I would just look at all these art blogs from like all over the world. It was just amazing. The level of inspiration you would just get off of these ideas that people had that were incredible. It would inspire you to be like, to change your work ethic and like be a little harder and go a little better and do all these things. And I miss that, honestly. I miss that feeling. Like, and you know, maybe that's just me. Maybe you go on these little forums and all this stuff and you see all this new work that inspires you. I think when they started using AI to grift art off of like DeviantArt and stuff like that, a lot of the art kind of dried up, honestly. I think a lot of artists have pulled back, so they don't put work up there anymore, in those spaces anymore. I assume Instagram's probably going to have a similar problem. So, it's just that whole thing, like you're cultivating a collection, an art base, a portfolio, a fan base, like all these things. And then you gotta worry, you know? Somebody's going to basically steal what you worked on. There are a bunch of like sci-fi novel cover artists who have said since all this AI stuff has started up that they've seen a lack in revenue for what they do, and they're essentially using AI to make those artists work without those artists. Like, that's just horrible, you know? It's not. It's such a rough way to come about it. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But that is why we are not simulcasting. Well, I know it was the longest explanation for why, for the reasoning, but I'm moving away from it. I've been getting a lot of comments from Instagram actually saying your videos are too long. We don't really like to promote them, basically. We want them to be 60 to 90 seconds. That's it. And this is not that type of show. The lack of acceptance for like a diverse type of performance, audience, etc., is pretty bad, honestly. Because we need new ideas. I think the idea that trends are determined by algorithms rather than by you is kind of one of those things that you have to worry about. Like, I remember being in art school and they wanted very like low res, very low effort kind of cartoons for Cartoon Network. So they grabbed a bunch of people who were who were just in art school and got them to work for Cartoon Network. And they made these very kind of ugly, very unpopular kind of comics and ideas and cartoons and stuff. And like Marvel almost went out of business. There was a whole bunch of stuff that would happen. And it was just one of those things where it was like it all kind of crescendos eventually. If we don't allow creativity to kind of influence the communities. So I generally don't know what the solution is. I wish we could all just do live shows in actual venues with people selling tickets and stuff like that. I don't know that this would work in that situation. But I look at my friend Maki, who has like a nerdlesque show. It's like a nerdy burlesque. Nerdlesque. And they do like cosplay and do all types of stuff. And it's burlesque and it's very interesting. And very beautiful, very strange, very funny, very, very interesting. And yeah, I look at that and I'm like, this exists in this way that it exists. It is not commoditized outside of what it is so that it appeals, so that it has to be changed to appeal to a broader audience that is not interested in it, you know? And I've always thought really highly of the factor that like she sticks to her guns and like they all work together and there's so many of them and she brings on new performers and it's very interesting to me and I want to see it do well. And so it is amazing in the way that it is. And maybe I just need to figure out a way to make this expand, you know, in a direction that I would like to do it with. So that is the idea now. I have to figure out how I do that because I do not know, but we will figure out how to get it going eventually. I've been writing out a lot of stuff recently, just trying to understand like what directions I want to go with certain things, to really kind of pinpoint and understand what moments mean the most to me. I got a Polaroid printer where if I have like a moment and I take a photo, I can print it out, I can put it in a book and put it like a scrapbook basically of ideas and things and everything. And it's like it's not all positive, it's not all negative, it's not all interesting. But it's definitely worthy of my time and my effort. And I'm kind of just pursuing things like right now that are worthy of my time and my effort. Like it just makes sense. The love is the passion for it. So, yeah. Before I leave you, because I have finished my breakfast, and as we know, that is the end of the show. I just hope you're all doing really well, and I love you, and I hope you have a great week. I want to thank again my wonderful viewers, my people who support me on Patreon as well. You should join the Patreon. Patreon's really fun, actually. And then, yeah, we're going to go and do all the things we need to do today. Lots of adulting to do. All right. Pin her out. Ciao. What do I leave you with? As the great man said, get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Ciao. Turn around.